As the sun began to set over Jerusalem, the sky darkened and the air grew heavy with anticipation. On a rugged hill called Golgotha, Jesus of Nazareth hung upon the cross, surrounded by jeering crowds, grieving followers, and the silent watch of Roman soldiers. The world seemed to hold its breath as the final moments of his earthly life approached. In those agonizing hours, Jesus spoke 7 statements, words that have echoed through history, offering comfort, challenge, and hope to all who hear them. Among these, perhaps none is more poignant or profound than his last. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Simple in its phrasing, yet infinite in its depth, this declaration is a window into the heart of Jesus, a heart overflowing with trust, surrender, and love. It is a phrase that has inspired saints and seekers, the broken and the hopeful, across centuries and continents. To understand its power, we must look beyond the suffering of the cross and see the unwavering faith that carried Jesus through his darkest hour. In the ancient world, crucifixion was a punishment reserved for the lowest criminals, a spectacle of humiliation and pain. For Jesus, it was the culmination of a life lived in perfect obedience to God, a life marked by compassion, healing, and the proclamation of a kingdom not of this world. As he endured the excruciating pain, the weight of humanity's sin pressing upon him, Jesus did not respond with anger or despair. Instead, he turned his eyes heavenward, addressing God as Father, a term of intimacy, love, and trust. Into your hands I commit my spirit. These words are not merely a resignation to fate. They are an active choice to trust, even when all seems lost. In quoting Psalm 31, Jesus aligned himself with the faith of generations before him, those who, in times of trouble, entrusted themselves to the care of a faithful God. Yet, for Jesus, this was more than tradition. It was the fulfillment of his mission. He surrendered not in defeat, but in victory, confident that his life, his spirit, and his destiny were secure in the hands of the one who sent him. This act of surrender is at the heart of the Christian faith. It teaches us that true strength is found not in clinging to control, but in relinquishing it to God. In our own moments of struggle, when life feels uncertain, when pain threatens to overwhelm us, when the future is unclear, we are invited to echo Jesus' words. To say, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit, is to acknowledge that we are not alone, that our lives are held by a love greater than we can comprehend. Jesus' final words also reveal the depth of divine love. Even as he faced betrayal, abandonment, and unimaginable suffering, his trust in the Father remained unshaken. He knew that death was not the end, but the doorway to resurrection. In committing his spirit to God, Jesus demonstrated that love is stronger than fear, hope is stronger than despair, and life is stronger than death. This is the eternal promise that continues to inspire millions, that no matter what we face, God's embrace is always open, always waiting, always faithful. For those who struggle with doubt, with fear, with the burdens of life, these words are an invitation to rest in the assurance of God's care. They remind us that surrender is not weakness, but the pathway to peace. When we release our anxieties, our failures, and our dreams into God's hands, we discover a freedom that cannot be found elsewhere. We learn to trust, as Jesus trusted, that God's plans for us are good, that his love never fails, and that his presence is with us even in the valley of the shadow of death. Throughout history, countless individuals have drawn strength from Jesus' example. In times of persecution, believers have whispered these words as a final act of faith. In moments of crisis, families have prayed them together, finding comfort in God's sovereignty. In quiet moments of reflection, seekers have meditated on their meaning, discovering the peace that comes from letting go and letting God. But this message is not only for the end of life, it is for every day. Each morning, we are given the opportunity to commit our spirits, our thoughts, our actions, our hopes, to God's care. Each challenge is a chance to practice trust, to surrender our will, and to embrace the mystery of faith. As we do, we are transformed, shaped into people of courage, compassion, and unwavering hope. The story of the cross does not end with Jesus' final breath. 3 days later, the tomb was found empty, and the risen Christ appeared to his followers, proclaiming victory over sin and death. The words, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit," were not a farewell, but a declaration of trust in the God who brings life out of death, hope out of despair, and light out of darkness. This is the promise that sustains us, that when we surrender our lives to God, we are never abandoned, never forgotten, never without hope. Today, as you reflect on these sacred words, consider what it means to commit your spirit into God's hands. What burdens are you carrying? What fears keep you awake at night? What dreams remain unfulfilled? Whatever your circumstances, know that God invites you to surrender, to trust, and to rest in His love. He is faithful to hold you, to guide you, and to bring you through every trial. Let the example of Jesus inspire you to live with open hands and an open heart. May His trust become your trust, His surrender your surrender, and His hope your hope. And as you walk through the challenges and joys of life, remember that you are never alone. The same God who received Jesus' Spirit on the cross is with you now, offering strength, peace, and the promise of eternal life. May this message bring hope and strength to your heart today. In moments of struggle, in seasons of doubt, in times of surrender, may you find comfort in the words of Jesus, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." And may you discover, in the depths of that surrender, the unshakable embrace of God's love.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found the content meaningful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Faith and Glory channel so you won't miss out on more inspiring videos about faith and life values. See you in the next video!